Welcome, everyone, to episode 32 of the Golden Squeeze podcast. We're coming at you with a lot of content this week, so buckle up. But we're starting off with NXT, and it led off with a good old-fashioned street fight. Jada Parker came out with a bat, which never got used, and she fought Michin. And she secured the win against Michin. There were some good spots in this match. Michin is an underrated worker, in my opinion. Additionally, she's having to play double duty. She's been on SmackDown and NXT a lot recently, and good on her for being able to do both. She actually had a video that I commented on TikTok earlier today because she was inside the same conference as me in college. She played at Marymount for volleyball. I played at Mary Washington for basketball, and I tried to get a cheap response by saying that's how we do it in the CAC, which was our conference, and I got no response, so that did not quite work, but
I need my own account. I need my own account, like Wade of Golden Squeeze, so I could have responded to you, womp womp, or put the cricket gif on there.
I mean, it felt like I got a cricket, but maybe she just hasn't seen it yet. Maybe later today. But
yeah, keep telling yourself that, buddy.
What did you think of the confrontation between these two, the match between these two?
This was good. Just seeing more of Michin. I hate that she, in essence, based on what they've been doing, like with the ladder match and now this, that I kind of get the feel that they're using her to put over other talent.
Yeah.
And I don't like that with how talented she is. But again, we've talked about this ad nauseum lately, that there's just so much talent, especially in the women's division right now, especially the future coming out of NXT. And Jada Parker's a star, man. She's got the looks, the swag, and they what do you think of the name they finally gave the finisher?
I didn't hear what it was.
Dude. And I know how you are about these tropes and these stereotypes.
Oh, gosh.
The hypnotic.
Oh, my gosh. That is... Oh...
You didn't hear that? As soon as I heard it, I was like, oh no. I was like, I'm about to get a text from Josh when he finally sees this.
That is awful. The hypnotic. Oh, man. I was watching it with my boys, and they probably distracted me when the hypnotic happened. But can you get any more stereotypical of a name than the hypnotic?
Oh, man. I mean...
Oh, okay.
Again, I like hypnotic. I haven't had it since college, but I've really enjoyed it when I had hypnotic.
I'm sure you like fried chicken too, but if they called it the fried chicken, it would still be stereotyping.
Yes, I'm a southern person. Of course, I love fried chicken.
Might as well have said he hit her with the watermelon. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? Shawn Michaels, man, you are in rare form right now. All right. Well, moving on to the New Catch Republic versus Hank and Tank. Hank and Tank? Is that really what they call it? Like, what are we? Yes. Like, what are we doing here at NXT? We need to go back to the black and gold because just the shenanigans that go on in this program on a weekly basis are almost becoming unwatchable. I'm sad that I signed up to watch this program. I should have just kept it with just you watching. Because
going back real quick. With what we just said about how talented Michin is, do you still think her losing was the right call?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, okay, I mean, I do too, because
but
it's
I don't
obvious
think she should have been in the position to lose. Like that's my issue. Not that she lost. My issue is that she's facing Jada Parker in NXT.
And okay, with Jade, I have no problem with Jada Parker winning. Like I said. She's a star, and she gets, in my opinion, gets better each week, each time. And but her beating somebody like her one-on-one, they have to, I think they have to capitalize. She has to at least have a title match soon. I think she needs to have yes. I think she needs to have a title. They need to capitalize on that.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But anyways, yes. Back to Hank and Tank. This was a good match, man.
But I'm not getting to the match yet. I'm getting to the idea that they are backstage and saying, let's name these guys Hank and Tank. Like, I don't get
maybe that's their real names.
Even if it is their real names, which there's no way that man's name is Tank Ledger. Like, that's just not his name. I didn't look it up. I don't know what his name is, but it's not Tank Ledger. Maybe Hank Walker's a real name, but Tank Ledger is not that man's name. But you know, when you get a match and it's going to have the New Catch Republic in it, it's not going to be bad. It's just not going to be bad. They're too talented, and that's not to say that Hank and Tank didn't pull their weight, because of course they did. But New Catch Republic is going to make it look like $1 million.
There were some good near falls in this. It was very good, very, very good.
Yeah, and the right team won. In my opinion.
Yes. Hank and Tank, they put on a good showing. I like what they did. Hey, we want to compete. I did like the way they set that up. Just, hey, we'd like to have a match with y'all. We want to try to prove ourselves and, just go against the best. And I like that. It just no ridiculous, oh no, you bumped into me in the chow line in the cafeteria of NXT. Like, oh, we're going to fight now. No, nothing silly in the locker room. Just, hey, we want to fight y'all. Okay. I have no issue. I like the setup from the week before, and I like the fact that it was just a good old-fashioned tag team match.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Too many people, with all the people on the rosters, though, for both programs, too many people playing double duty. Just stick to a show. You don't need to have guys from NXT on SmackDown or Raw, and then guys from Raw and SmackDown on NXT. NXT's roster is so big, there are people who will go like 3 shows without having any type of program. Like a guy like Josh Briggs, who I don't like, but he doesn't go on TV for 2-3 weeks, and he'll come back and he'll probably be in some sort of title scene. They don't need to do that. They have too many people.
Yeah, and I agree, because and yes, and I know they've always done that, or they'll have somebody come and do like a one-off, but it used to be a lot less often.
Yeah,
and it should be that way, and it makes it feel like more, I don't know, special, I guess. But yeah, dude, and it's like one of those things. I'm torn, because when you see like Mishan, New Catch Republic, who else? The Good Brothers. Whatever match they're involved in, you're going to get quality wrestling.
But the Good Brothers are different, though, because they're not on Raw or SmackDown, and if they are, they're only there as like help for Mishan.
Yeah,
saying they had a match on Raw or SmackDown.
I'm just thinking of double duty, because I think all of them were technically on SmackDown. But okay, I see but you see the point I'm making. Just it's just hard, because I agree with you. It's like, okay, yes, they can have their own storylines and build the stories like they used to with just the NXT talent.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, it's like, I say that, and it's like, okay, and it's like I see these matches like, damn, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I continue watching, because it's always good wrestling. Now, not saying that it can't be good wrestling, but I think part of the problem they've run into is they are full out on this NIL thing, and this talent that is so green. And I feel like they have no choice sometimes, or maybe in their minds, to bring in these very, very well-established guys. Because NXT Black and Gold, a lot of that, these guys had been on the indies somewhere, or been wrestling for years. in other organizations around the world, but they weren't green. Some of these people are green as green can be. And so I think that is maybe why this is happening.
I mean, you're probably right. I mean, people like Becky Lynch and Bayley and Finn Balor and Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe and DIY, they that was not their training facility. That was just them getting them ready for the main roster. I mean, that's what that was. They had been wrestling for years prior to that. So I see that viewpoint of things, and I agree. Now we have guys like Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes and Javon Evans and all these guys, pretty much except for Sean Spears, Ethan Page.
And then look at the females too now. Like who's on TV a lot? Like Carly Bright, she's in the NIL. Sol Ruka. I mean, a lot of these they're
Lonnie Jordan,
they're naturally gifted athletes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying they're not, but they haven't been wrestling on the indies for years.
Yeah, got to hone their craft. But let's move on to the next match, which featured Izzy Dame versus Brenley Reese in a one-on-one match that saw Dame get the win. It was relatively one-sided. The amount of vignettes they have for Brenley Reese, maybe you thought she would get in a little bit more damage in there, but she shouldn't.
This is all built into her, the relationship going down the tube with her and is it Malik and Blade?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, and their whole thing is this big losing streak and this and that. But I don't know, man. I think they're missing something there, and because I think Brinley Reese is talented.
Well, it's a Nofe and Blade. So Malik Blade is one person, and then Idris.
Okay, I'm sorry, Nofe and Blade. Okay. Yeah. And that, I think they're putting the finishing touches on dismantling that trio and going in a different direction. And they've been at that story for so long. You got to think there's going to be some sort of a payoff with a big win leading to something different.
Yeah.
Because, I know the whole thing of working out all the time is kind of goofy, and I'm hoping they get away from that because, dude, I think Brinley Reese has talent in there. And you can tell she's a strong individual. You can tell she's jacked. And so we'll see. I definitely think, especially in context of the stories they're telling currently, the right person won. Think Izzy Dame's very good. She's got a good look. She's a big girl. And, believable to win.
Mm-hmm.
And against any of them based on, size and demeanor and everything. So I think, right person went over, but I think they need to. I'm hoping they pull the trigger soon on this story of the losing streak with those three, and get them going in the other direction soon, because they've been at this. They've been doing this since we've started doing this.
Yeah,
and there's got to be some payoff to it sooner or later.
Yeah, and speaking of things that have been going on since right around when we started doing this, we got a vignette between Ridge Holland and Chase U, where Andre Chase, asked Ridge Holland to stay home, and Ridge, he just looked crushed. The big man's heart, he looked devastated, and what was coming out of his eyes looked like real tears. Unlike what happened in the next segment, which was Lola Vice pouring her heart out before Heat Wave to Roxanne Perez.
Wait, before we get to that. So that segment with him telling him to stay home, it's because Duke Hudson had the photographs and gave them to Andre Chase, showing that Ridge leveraged Duke to get the win a couple of weeks prior. And basically a cheap victory to get them kind of, I don't know if it was to that point, because I don't think that was during the tag team turmoil thing, but and I think Ridge was kind of crushed because he had actually thrown himself in front of one of them to help them, legitimately help them prior. But Yeah, and I definitely think that's going to come into play, and he's going to somehow show up in Canada. And and so we'll see what happens with that. But anyways, yeah, I agree. That was the best I've seen Rich Holland this whole time. He legitimately looked crushed.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I got so much entertainment of them talking to each other like in the middle of class. Like I don't know that. I don't know why I found such entertainment in that. Like,
You're a Rich Holland fan now. That's what it is.
No. It's like, is there something y'all want to tell us in front of the whole class? I don't know why I found that so. It was as childish as it was. I thought it was funny. But anyways, so now on to the not so good acting.
It was one of the worst things I've ever seen on NXT. And you warned me of this prior to me seeing it. And it was worse than I could have imagined. Because I'm on record as saying that I think that Lola Vice is very talented. And I think that she
yes.
That when she is serious and that she cuts a good promo, she's good at being serious. That being said, she was seriously trying to cry and she seriously failed. It was awful. Absolutely awful. I don't know how they thought that was a good idea. They're bad promos on NXT, and that's one of the worst.
And it's one of those things like where without seeing tears, it's like I want to be like, and I hate saying this, but because I know a lot of times they use real background stories, even though they're not using their real names, they use a real background story. And so, and I've not gone and looked up her actual story. So, but you can't help but to wonder if that's legit or not because of the lack of tears. Because that story, like having to recount it in front of people, I can imagine that'd be probably gut wrenching.
Yeah.
And so, and I hate feeling that way. But then again, it's one of those things, not everybody gets that emotional recounting horrible things.
Yeah.
I have seen it plenty of times where it's like, oh, what's up? And then getting to know some of those people, you realize, oh, they just don't show the same emotion that other people do.
Yeah.
So, and maybe she's just that kind of person. And when they told her, hey, act like you're crying, and she's like, okay, well, it's not going to go well, but whatever y'all want. And so I don't know, but yeah, just the fact that there were no tears there, it was not good, dude.
Yeah.
But what I did like about this was
the two dudes behind Roxanne Perez. They look big. They look big.
The ones that Roxanne said when she was like, oh yeah, what you did to Shayna was impressive, but this isn't NXT Underground. This is a one-on-one wrestling match.
Yeah.
And I like that. It was like, okay, you're acknowledging she's a badass in that setting, but this isn't that setting. And I thought Roxanne did very well with that. But yeah, I love the fact that the big guys behind her, how the one sold like he got hit by a Mack truck with Lola Vice hit him with that back fist.
Yeah. Well, that's what they got to do.
And how what did you think of Lola dancing while trying to cry leaving the ring?
I didn't like anything about this, and I hated that. And
you didn't like Roxanne's part at all?
No, I didn't.
Really? Okay.
I didn't like either one of theirs because I thought that Roxanne's timing was off in conjunction with what Lola was trying to do. It just seemed choppy and sloppy by the both of them, and it happens. It's fine. They'll bounce back because they're both talented. I'm not quitting on either of them. Like I've quit on so many other NXT stars, like Briggs or Wesley or Dante Chin, people like that. I'm not giving up on them because Lola can be good if they book her right.
Oh, she's going to be.
Yeah.
Triple H, even if it takes Triple H, the ship will be righted with her.
Yeah. She needs to change her look, or not her look. Her look is fine. Her outfits are what she needs to change. She needs to change her clothing. Her moveset is good. She needs to change her gimmick. She needs to stop dancing, and she just needs to be a killer, and she'll be fine. And Roxanne's fine. She'll be fine. She doesn't really need to change anything. Her character, I think, could translate to the main roster relatively easily. So,
Agreed.
No issues there. But
agreed.
Let's move on to what happened after this. We got some vignettes, one of which was Wesley cutting a promo about his match with Obafemi. Didn't like this either, personally. And whenever I see Wesley, I get angry. And then as he's sitting there and Obafemi's shadow is getting closer and closer and closer to him in the back. I don't know if you noticed that. Because they didn't actually do anything with it. But there was a giant man shadow that kept getting closer and closer as he spoke. I thought that was cheesy. I just don't believe anything that comes out of Wesley's mouth. There's something believable about his about what he says or his gimmick, and there's no world where I believe that he can beat Obafemi. And maybe he will. Cool. I'm sure he probably will. But I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I'm interested to see what they do here. Because I'm thinking they may have. I picked Wesley to win this match, but just the more I think about it, I guess the next it's building towards Evans versus Trick. At some point, that is going to happen one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they should take the North American title off of Oba until he is going to immediately then challenge for the main title in NXT.
But what if they don't do either of those things and they just throw him in the main roster?
I'm fine with that too. But I mean, just typically, and maybe this will change, but typically something like that doesn't happen until post WrestleMania, but they've already done that.
Yeah.
So I just don't know if they're going to have him be in limbo for that long, or maybe they're going to change that, and maybe they'll start calling people up at SummerSlam from NXT and stuff like that, which is fine. And if that's the case, then yeah, I think he could easily come in there right now. But yeah, what was the next
we got another vignette with Eddie Thorpe.
Oh God, was this the DJ one?
It was.
Oh, dude,
as a DJ, Alexis King didn't like him. Didn't like his music.
Dude,
it was bouncy enough.
Oh, dude, now the Alexis King, that was amazing. His part when he's sitting there belittling it, running off all the '80s bands he likes.
Well, Alexis King is main roster ready. If we're being 100% honest with each other, his character might not work, but he as a person is, and he put on the main roster, change his gimmick a little bit. But if Pretty Deadly can be on SmackDown, then Alexis King can sure as hell be on SmackDown.
I like Pretty Deadly.
I just realized that one of them's name is what is it? Elton Prince. Is that his name?
Yeah.
I didn't put two and two together that Elton Prince. So Elton John and Prince. That's good.
And I spoke to you about this already. I like the vignette. Are they all called vignettes, or the segment where they showed him by the fire before it came back talking about his Native American heritage?
Yeah, it's a vignette. I think that's like your backstage. Which is a backstage segment.
Okay, so I like that vignette. I was like, okay, they're going to continue talking about that. But then now all of a sudden they're talking about him being a DJ. And this, it's like, why are we bouncing around here? I was interested in that. I thought that is where we were going with this and how they were going to present him. And I mean, okay, if he's really a DJ, if he really moonlights as a DJ, okay, that's cool. But I just thought it was kind of weird.
Sensation he doesn't actually moonlight as a DJ.
I don't know, but I just thought that was kind of weird. And if they just did it to start this feud with Lexis King, again, this goes back to the you bumped into me in the chow line at NXT cafeteria. Lexis King is a Weasley heel. He could just be like, hey, you came back. I don't like you taking my spotlight. We're going to have a match. It's not hard, especially when you have a heel that good. I just don't get it. There was no need for that corny segment to establish this match. I like Thorpe. I've liked the few matches I've seen him since we've started doing this. I know he was out for a while. He's back. I like the singles match he had. I thought he did fine in the Battle Royal. He's a good wrestler. I'm fine with that. Stick to the story from the vignette, progress it that way, and just have the Weasley heel come in and challenge you because he doesn't like that you're taking some of his spotlight. It writes itself. It's Wrestling 101. And I just, some of these segments are so bad. And it's just like, oh, you did so good, DJ, and oh, I want to come see you again. It was so corny, too.
Yeah. It's not good, but
no.
What are you gonna do? I'm used to it by now.
But Thorpe is a good wrestler. And I think I am looking forward to the match. I just didn't need that crappy segment.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. But next up, we got an Oro Mensah with Metaphor versus Miles Bourne with no quarter catch crew.
Mm-hmm. This was a good match.
Yeah.
I thought the Bleacher Report didn't really care for it. The match itself was good. I didn't. The whole brass knuckles thing, that was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, match was fine. The match was fine. Mensah got the win by pinfall. I have issues with Mr. Stone and Stevie Turner, who I don't know why they exist. It's just another long list of things that NXT does that I don't get.
Here, and my problem with that is Mr. Stone's got chops. He's a good talker.
But his name is Mr. Stone.
I get that. But Stevie is not on that level.
Yeah.
And I can tell Ava tries every week, but it just comes off as so scripted.
You mean Brawny?
Stop. Every time you say that, you lessen our chances of getting somebody to come on here.
Might get Brawny.
And you've got to stop this.
Brawny's bouncy.
Oh dear God. But I could see, but I know it wouldn't fit with the character they've developed Mr. Stone as, but I think Mr. Stone, with his ability to talk, if you're going to put him in a position like that, make Mr. Stone the GM. Because he's got the chops.
Ava is so dry as a GM, and Stevie Turner doesn't know what she's doing. It's just, and
there's like some that the back and forth, like you can tell in some of the stuff with Roxanne Perez, Ava's comfortable. Ava seems more comfortable in the interactions with her, but not everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah. How are they involved with this one, Stevie and Mr. Stone?
Because they told Mensah that he was not allowed to go to Heatwave because of what Oro did to Ethan Page.
Because he's been attacking Ethan Page, even though Ethan Page was the one who attacked him first and put. Don't
use logic in here, Wade. Not in here. Don't use.
And put Noam Dar in the hospital or wherever he's been.
Yeah.
But yeah. and dude, the stuff with okay, so it's Charlie Dempsey, Miles Bourne. Okay, who's the one that got beat? Who was trying to get the brass knuckles in? That was just weird.
Is that Kemp?
Yes.
Damon
And that
Kemp.
whole thing was like, oh, take these, and I don't recall seeing any no quarter catch crew matches where they're trying to slide them brass knuckles. At least not that I've seen.
Changing the game on you.
Yeah. Now, am I dreaming this, or didn't William Regal used to use the brass knucks a lot? Like old school William Regal. I don't feel like I just made that up.
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. But anyways, I just thought this was weird. It ended up costing him the match because he was distracted by like, hey, use these, like what? And Charlie Dempsey was like telling him to ignore him, and then so obviously this is leading to more dissension with no quarter catch crew, which can only mean one thing. There's going to be a lot more backstage segments, and I don't know how many more of those I can handle with no quarter catch crew and Charlie Dempsey.
Well, guess what? You're in for the long haul. So
yeah.
Watch all of them.
I'm not going anywhere, but I can still gripe about it here. In our 4 viewers, actually, based on me looking, maybe 1 viewer
This is your safe space.
Yeah. So, and maybe that nice gentleman who said he liked the podcast on one of the comments.
The nice liar.
Who I know it's your dad's burner account, but that's okay. Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Oh, man. Well, next up, we had Wendy Chu versus Carly Bright with Kendall Gray. And Wendy Chu got the win. It's not going anywhere.
Dude, okay. That I couldn't put my finger on it until this last week. That music is like the type of riff from any 90s alternative band, and it would be like that kind of riff in any high school related 90s movie.
Yeah.
And it's just bad. But dude, I will say this. She you can tell she's another one. Every time I see her wrestle, she seems to be getting more comfortable, and she gets a little bit better every time. But dude, I'm liking. It's a little campy, but I'm liking this Wendy Chu thing.
Yeah,
it's campy, but
there's something there with her.
Yeah,
we'll see how they continue to book her. I don't think the fans care all that much, but we'll see. We'll see how she can start to get a reaction, because I mean that's what wrestling's about, getting a reaction from the crowd.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah,
but there is some potential there. I will give her that.
What do you think of Carly Bright? Do you agree or disagree? Do you think she's getting better as she's getting more TV opportunities?
Well, she's an athlete. When you have an athlete and someone with an athletic background, you expect them to get better, and she'll get better. And when I say athlete, high-level athlete. These are high-level athletes. These are collegiate Division I athletes. And the collegiate Division I athlete, if it's an athletic endeavor, they'll likely catch on eventually. I mean, they either will or they won't. And you can typically tell after the second time you see them if they're going to pick it up. And yeah, I do think that she's getting better, and I think that she'll be fine. But now's not her time yet.
No.
But next up, we got Mrs. Sword versus Jasmine Nix with JC Jane. And
JC Jane.
Yeah. And Nix got the win. And I know that you have some issues with the sword that she brings out, similar to the same issues that you had when Drew McIntyre would bring out a sword. Yes. Don't bring something out if you ain't going to use it.
Yeah, because we know. We know it's not going to happen, and I'm trying to remember how this ended. I know Jasmine Nix won, but is it because JC Jane tried to interfere and Carmen stopped her from hitting her, and then that distraction led to Nyx winning.
Yeah, there were a few women that tried to interfere, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay. That's what I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
If there was somebody else that who else came down during this? Was it Fallon Henley?
Ariana Grace played a role in it.
Okay.
And
okay, because that set up the tag match for Heat Wave. Okay.
Yeah, Fallon Henley. They showed her backstage.
Okay.
Watching the match. So yeah, she did play a role, but I don't think she came down.
Okay, yeah, because they have formed like an alliance.
Yeah.
I think Fallon Henley with Nyx and JC Jane.
Yeah.
I like Jasmine Nyx music. She's got a good look. She's still very green, but I think she'll again, I believe her background is soccer, if I'm not mistaken. I think she was a collegiate soccer player, maybe at Virginia. I can't remember, but again, she's great look, and so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I believe if I'm remembering right, this led to Ava saying it was going to be a tag match, Grace and Petrova versus JC Jane and Jasmine Nyx. Was it at Heat Wave?
Yeah, it's going to be the pre-show, kickoff show.
Okay, so it's on the pre-show. Okay, okay, yeah, because I believe Petrova and Ariana Grace are both from Canada, if I'm not mistaken, and I think that was part of them booking that.
Oh, Canada, my home and native land.
What was next?
Next up was Shawn Michaels, giving us an update on Brooks Jensen. This was terrible.
Dude,
it's just misguided to me. Like now we're making light of substance abuse.
Oh, dude, they've been doing that for years. Stop it. Remember the Legion of Doom? And
yeah,
that whole thing.
I thought we were past it, though.
Well, you thought wrong.
Yeah, I mean, Drew McIntyre had a joke about Jey Uso's substance abuse when he said, "I couldn't believe they let you over the border." So we're obviously not past it, but I would have hoped that we're better as a society than to make light. And but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. And Shawn Michaels, not great on the mic anymore, in my opinion. Not great with his delivery.
I disagree with it in this aspect. He came across in his delivery as somebody in his role now giving a, hey, this is a pre-recorded thing addressing these issues that have been going on with the talent.
Too monotone for me. It was not enough emotion. It was too deadpan.
That's how most people in that type of role sound.
But he was trying to say that he cares about him. So yeah, I get that's the role, but the message was we care about you and we're trying to help you. So I just wanted a little bit more emotion from him.
Here's my problem. Brooks Jensen is as bad as Josh Briggs on the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, they were a team.
Yeah,
they learned from each other.
Oh, dude, and those interactions, and like when Jensen tried to prove himself against Obafemi, and just the backstage interactions with Briggs and Jensen. And again, not that he's a bad wrestler, it's just
it's only going to get worse, my friend.
And I'm just wondering, like, why they are choosing him in this role is like, because I didn't really feel like he was that over when. But now you're having him cost Trick a match and some of this other stuff. I just, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'm misremembering how he was on the mic. I don't believe I am, though. And we'll see. But I just, yeah. What was next?
Well, speaking of him costing Trick Williams a match, let's talk about Trick Williams because we coming to the last segment of the night, which was a contract signing between Sean Spears, Ethan Page, Trick Williams, and the young OG Javon Evans. I hate contract signings. They're never my cup of tea. They're all the same. I don't care if it's a women's match, a men's match, NXT, Raw, SmackDown. It's going to be talk, confrontation. Someone goes through one of the tables. It's just the same thing every single time. So because of that, they are pointless. Absolutely pointless. But be that as it may, got an opportunity for all four of these guys to give their final word prior to the match. I think there were two instances of the word bouncy, one by Javon Evans and the other when he got the crowd to say bouncy, which almost made me punch my fist through my television. But I didn't. I did not do that. My TV is intact. But as I think I may have said earlier, I actually thought that this was Javon Evans' best job on the mic. Yes, there were issues, but yes, I could definitely see some improvement on the mic from him. He needs to stop. I mean, there's just some things he needs to stop saying, like bouncy, and certain parts of his speech that he needs to stop doing, like saying like goofy and things like that, and just talk like a person. But it was less than it normally is. It was less than it wasn't as bouncy as he normally is, and I don't need him to be bouncy. I just need him to be just bounce. Don't be bouncy.
Dude, and I'm glad too, because when I first heard there was going to be a contract signing, I was like, oh my God. I was like, he's about to have to go mic for mic with Sean Spears and Ethan Page.
I'm glad you only named those two because, again, I am not a fan of Trick Williams in the mic.
Oh, no. He's okay, but you know what I'm getting. They're not.
They're not Ethan Page or Sean Spears. Those guys are good on the mic.
Sean Spears is very good, and Ethan Page is top tier. I mean, he just sounds so natural on the microphone.
He's what you want. He's what they want everybody else to be.
Yeah, and he's very good, but yeah, I think all in all, it's going to be a good dude. And my favorite part of this was Sean Spears' face when the young OG was like, "How many titles have you won in NXT?" And just the look of like,
how dare you?
Yeah, it was so good, dude. But this was good.
It ended with the baby faces standing tall over the heels. Which is one of the reasons why I have chosen All Ego to win at Heatwave, because one of the trends of WWE tends to be whoever's standing tall on the go home show is likely the person who's not going to win.
Right.
It's a little bit different from multi-man matches, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that wraps up NXT. So let's move on to SmackDown. We're doing something we've never done before. We are talking about a show on the same day that it happens. What are we doing here? What are we doing? We are showing some growth. It started off with Jey Uso coming out and yeeting all over the place, and interruptions from all the other Money in the Bank competitors, to include Carmelo Hayes, Chad Gable, Andrade, and Drew McIntyre. It's exactly what you would expect on a go-home show. You would expect everyone to come out that's in the ladder match, and it's exactly what we got. It was fine. It was a fine segment. No, nothing wrong with it. Just standard fare, I think.
We definitely know what two are not winning. LA Knight and Jey Uso, because they stood tall at the end of the segment.
They're probably not going to win. I'm still having LA Knight win, but I mean, the only person who definitely isn't going to win is Andrade. That's the only person who's definitely not going to win. There's a 0% chance that he wins. There's a slim chance that some of the others win. But we're going to see what happens. I'm sticking with the fact that we see AJ Lee tomorrow. for SmackDown, and she is Punk's
You made for Money in the Bank.
for Money in the Bank. We're going to see AJ Lee. She's going to be Punk by proxy, and she's going to cost. We might even see Larry. Might even see Larry the dog. But I am confident. I'm not confident, but I hope that we get to see AJ Lee, because I was an AJ Lee fan prior to her leaving the company. I was hopeful that she would stay with the company when Punk left, but we didn't get that. But what were your thoughts on the opening segment to Friday Night SmackDown?
It was good, and if what you said the match order is, or if
I didn't say the match order, I just said that Priest and Rollins are said to be the main event. So I don't know anything else.
If it's the main event, I think McIntyre's winning.
Yeah.
And there's speculation he could cash in on the front end and make it a triple threat, which if the men's match is first, I could see him pulling double duty, especially with this being Rollins' first match post-surgery.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have to work a full match on his own. And Priest and McIntyre, as they proved in Scotland, are more than capable of putting on a great match, just them two. And but I think that'll almost guarantee that Punk is interfering and that McIntyre's going to win. If that is the match order, if it's the men's match first and Priest Rollins last, I think that's definitely what's going to happen.
Yeah. We'll see. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of options for how they're going to handle this match, and we'll see exactly how they do it on Money in the Bank. But next up, we got a tag team match with the Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly with Elton Prince and Kit Wilson.
I didn't like this.
Well, I want to go straight to the finish. The Street Profits won. Montez Ford, we've talked about his athleticism. He's too athletic for his own damn good. He did a frog splash. His finishing move is frog splash, and he overshot it. And he almost flipped over, and he had to roll back, which caused a delayed pin, which I just thought was funny, that he's just so athletic that he just overshoots almost everything he does because he either jumps too high or too far. It's a nice problem to have. Yeah, I mean, I like the Street Profits, and Pretty Deadly are actually they're way more entertaining than they have any right to be. So it's good to see them on TV. They are what you would think of when I think of a NXT tag team. They're one of the people who you say a gimmick's not going to work on the main roster, and I'm not saying their gimmick does work on this roster, but it's still on the roster, which is more than you can say about other people. But you say you didn't like this. What did you not like about it?
Not the match, the result.
Okay,
and they were in a lose-lose. The Street Profits do not need to be losing. So them winning a match on SmackDown, I have no issues with.
Mm-hmm.
My issue is they've been doing vignettes and talking about them coming back, talking about Pretty Deadly and this and that. And then they just have them lose. Stuff like that irks me. I don't get it. But as soon as I saw they were going against the Street Profits, I was like, a team that shouldn't be losing is going to lose. And it did. But again, that's not a knock on the match itself or the fact that the Street Profits won. I just don't think Pretty Deadly should be losing with how they've been hyping their return.
Yeah.
But that's just me. And that's why I didn't like it. Nothing to do with the match quality. I mean, those four guys are good.
Yeah.
No way around it. I thought the the characters and everything blend well together. And we actually saw them live. It was I think it was a 4-way tag match. It was but two of the teams were Street Profits and Pretty Deadly when my family saw them live last year, and they're very, very entertaining. You have those differing personalities and everything. It was very, very, very good.
Yeah,
very good. But that's my only issue, man. I was just surprised.
Yeah.
Because they keep like letting us know that they were coming and like they had them do segments about them coming to SmackDown. And I don't get it. I don't get why they would do that. But
yeah,
I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe it's just the first piece of the puzzle, and we'll see. Anyways, a good match. Definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, next match we got was Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. And Cargill and Belair, they're still injured. They don't have those titles anymore. And there's a lot of interference in this match, too. Well, was that this match? Yeah, that was this match where Alba Fire and Isla Dawn came down. And but Cargill and Belair, I just don't know where they're going with them right now. It just seems a little... They lost their titles, and they said, "Oh, we want our titles back." And I'm sure they probably... I don't know if they're gonna win them back. I think that maybe, I guess this is the start to show some cracks in their relationship. We know they're not going to stay tag teams forever. It would not make a lick of sense for them to stay a tag team for too much longer. Because as singles competitors, Bianca Belair is one of the best workers the company has. Jade Cargill still think is green. I'm still not impressed by really anything she does in the ring. I'm impressed by the way she looks. I mean, she looks like $1 million. You're not going to find that look, and there's probably 5 people who look like that in the world. But I don't know. I don't know where they're going to go with Jade Cargill once she becomes a singles competitor, because I just don't think she's very talented in the ring.
Apparently, I skipped over something during watching this. What happened at the end of this match?
Isla Dawn and Alba Fire came down, and
so it was a DQ.
No, it was not a DQ because they weren't fighting Jade and Bianca. I think another team came. A bunch of people came down. Maybe it was just those two. But, or maybe I'm making all of this up. It's quite possible I'm making all of this up. You didn't miss anything. I'm making it all up. I could have sworn that they came down. I'll go back. I'll go back and rewatch it later.
So what happened at the end? Did this match even happen?
Yeah. Belair and Cargill beat Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. Yes, that definitely happened. And then at the end of the match, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair said that they were coming back for those titles. And I could have sworn that that Isla Dawn and Alba Fire came down at some point in time too and started brawling outside the ring with.
Well, if they're coming back for the titles, then I'm assuming they're going to have the rematch at SummerSlam. They're going to lose, and that's when one's going to turn on the other.
Yeah, you're probably right. I hope so.
Just because I don't think right now, I think now is too short of a build to try to build that matchup for SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Just them. But
yeah.
What was next?
Next was Bayley versus Piper Niven. With
Chelsea Green.
Bayley got the win. There was a lot of interference in this match too, because we got Nia Jax came down.
Yes, she did.
And Chelsea Green was there, and
I feel like there was somebody else. Oh, Tiffy came down.
Yeah,
all the women made an appearance from the ladder match.
Yeah,
we got to see the prettiest moonsault ever.
Well, I don't think Io Sky came.
No, she was there. She was there.
Okay, all right.
She was there.
Yeah. Nia Jax coming out. Why did she come out? What's her role in all of this?
Well, no, this was post match. That was post match.
I know, but why?
Bayley got the win because Bayley's potentially her opponent at SummerSlam. Well, barring a cash in, that is her opponent because for some reason neither women's title is being defended at Money in the Bank.
That's a good point.
So, so yeah, so I guess Bailey's the de facto. Well, barring a cash in, it's going to be Bailey versus Nia at SummerSlam.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very interesting choice. So no potential cash in.
You gave us a 6-man tag match that doesn't really have any importance to it, and you don't put a women's title on the line. Okay.
Well, it has potential importance if it goes on last, because if the 6-man tag goes on last, Roman's coming back.
Yeah, but I don't think it is.
Yeah,
but
not after that vignette.
Yeah. But next we got the last match of the night, which
we're missing something. The talk, it was KO, RKO, and Cody came to the ring.
Oh yeah, okay.
And
you're right.
I admittedly did not hear what Randy and Cody said, but if that is true, what they said, apparently Kevin Owens' mother is in the hospital as we speak.
Well, Kevin Owens said that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. If I said I'm not sure what RKO or Cody said, but I know if
they're not gonna lie about that. I don't think they would lie about that.
The only reason I'm even wondering about it is because of that NXT
this is
segment.
Not Lola Vice. This is Kevin Owens. Let's not even pretend like they are even in the same. They don't even. They're barely in the same profession.
And again, I don't think they would joke about that. I just think people show emotion differently. But yeah. So no. But apparently, Kevin Owens' mother is, as we speak, in the hospital. So
yeah.
What best wishes? Hope she gets well soon.
Absolutely. I'm a big Kevin Owens fan. And,
even
if I wasn't, I don't want anyone to get hurt. No matter how much I don't like them, I don't want anyone to get sick. I don't want anyone to die.
No,
absolutely
not.
Yeah, even the biggest heel, I don't want it to happen. But I still don't know why this match is happening, but it is happening. So
but But hearing him give that impassioned promo, it pumps you up, man. I mean, made me more excited for it. But
I love Kevin Owens. He's one of the best workers the company has. His size and the way he moves at his size is ridiculous. And
he's awesome.
And when I say his size, I mean he's a fat man. He's a fat person. He doesn't have an ounce of muscle on him, but he moves like a cat.
He's husky. You stop that.
Husky like Harris. But rest in peace. But I don't need this match. I just don't need it.
I don't either.
I don't need a 6-man tag.
Unless Roman's coming back or somebody's
that's
coming back.
That's the only thing. This has to further something. This can't just be a blow off of a 6-man feud that no one cares about.
Oh, okay. If I do have a prediction, if it doesn't go on last, we know it's not Roman. But even if Jimmy comes back, and it furthers
I'm fine with Jimmy coming back.
Yeah, yes, is on. Okay, it's if it goes on last, it's Roman. If not, Jimmy's coming back.
Fine with Rock coming back. I need someone other. I need somebody.
No. It's not.
I need somebody other than those 6 people. I need a 7th or 8th person.
Hold on. It could be, if it goes on last, it could be Rock if it's not Roman.
Yeah, I agree. But all I'm saying is that if it doesn't go on last,
it's Jimmy.
Give me
for sure.
The only way that I can accept this match being on this card is if there is a 7th person. I need a 7th person. I need. I don't care who it is, really.
We have a 7th person.
An 8th person. I need an 8th person.
Okay. And shooting, they could do that. They'd be like, hey, it's a handicap 4-on-3, and then Jimmy comes out, it's 4-on-4.
I can see that.
I am too, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. But then next up, we got we got a tag team match, because apparently they just said those tag team titles that we gave out to A-Town Down Under and Miz and R-Truth. Well, we're just going to get them off of them pretty much within a week of each other, which, you know what, I'm fine with. But I'm because I enjoyed this because DIY is good. They're good. I hate their outfits. I hate the way they dress. They need to change the way they look. I don't know when they got this like spaceship BS clothing. I don't know what it is. Looks like they work for NASA, um, but we knew that Grayson Waller and Austin Theory were not. I didn't think they stood a chance of winning this match. Just the way that they have booked this storyline. I mean, I was sure that they were going to lose, and they did.
Yeah, they're going to be on the undercard of SummerSlam.
Who? Oh,
Waller versus Theory.
No, main card. They get the main card.
No, I'm sorry. When I say
you don't mean pre-show, you just mean they're not going to be the main event. They're going to be
not the main event. They're going to be on the SummerSlam card.
Yeah, definitely, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It won't be great. It's not going to steal the show, but it'll be fine. It won't be objectionable.
Yeah. This was one of my favorite non-PLE TV matches of the year.
Really?
Yeah. I remember sitting there. I was sitting there watching it, man. I was like, the timing of all the false finishes. There was no absurdity of kicking out of finishing moves. It was all old school tag team interference, breaking up pins.
Yeah.
And some of it was like, oh man, this is over. And then like you'd have one of them saving the other or something happening.
Or grabbing a foot and putting it on the rope.
Yes. And just, DIY, they were a tag team for quite a while. But Theory and Waller have not been. So for them to work that well with a tag team that has been doing it for quite a while, I thought that made it even better.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a good laugh of Waller using Theory as a shield again. And I think he's such a good heel, man. And but yeah, man, I really, really, really enjoyed this match. This match and that triple threat on Monday with Sheamus, McIntyre, and Dragunov were two of my favorite TV matches of the year, and they were in the same week of each other.
Yeah,
and hey, kudos to them for just booking good matches for Raw and SmackDown, and it was good.
It's nice when the company tells these people they can actually go and try, because I remember years ago when it came out that Vince tells people to you can't give a 5-star match on a Raw or SmackDown. You got to save those. You got to save those.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It came out that Vince would tell people that, like, you can't give 100% on these shows because then it will diminish the value of a pay-per-view. So you don't want to give them the full bag of tricks on a weekday show. You got to save those for pay-per-views. But no, it's a good match. It's a good match.
Oh, those two I thought were great. But even NXT, the opening match of NXT, the street fight, I really enjoyed that match.
Yeah,
that was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and we didn't even talk about the bump that Mia Yim took when she hit her face on the chairs.
Oh, dude, yeah, because when I saw, dude, I'll tell you what, man, that
looked painful. Even the replay.
And obviously when she, took the hit on the thumbtacks, you could tell she's just fan of the hardcore stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, the fact that because there's no way somebody else besides her came up with that spot.
Yeah, because
of how badly that could have gone.
Yeah.
But no, dude, that was when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, that was that was good.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I remember when I saw it, I was like, oh my God. I was like, I got to remember to tell Josh there's a pretty bold spot that they did in that match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
And dude, I mean, and that had to be perfect. And she
did
it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so there were very good. Each show this week had at least one very good match.
Yeah.
And kudos to them. Not perfect all the way across by any stretch, but very good.
Yeah.
The storylines are progressed, and you had at least one great match on each show. And hey, that's a lot more than we can say about some episodes over the years.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
yeah.
But
the show, let's talk about the way the show ended. It ended with a vignette from Solo Sikoa. I don't know why I thought he was going to come out and do this.
because of the way they said it,
Yeah.
everybody thought he was. Everybody. I mean, that was kind of the old bait and switch.
Yeah, because it was like 9:58 Eastern, and I was like, their entrance is longer than 2 minutes. Like, it's going to take them a long time to get down to the ring. And then it's just a pre-taped vignette where he calls Roman Reigns out by name.
It was a good vignette though,
and says if he wants to be the chief, you got to he's going to have to come through me. That was bold. It's bold, Cotton. I didn't think they were going to go that route.
And so not only did he call out Roman, he basically essentially challenged Cody Rhodes for the belt.
Yeah.
And then saying so. Yeah, I think it's going to be, and hey, I know there's going to be, well, okay, first of all, the absurdity of him calling out Roman for losing with how often they booked him to lose.
Yeah.
With the exception of the Cena match. But again, that was the old regime.
Yeah.
Where a lot of that happened. I do not think that would have happened if they knew the position they were going to put him in now. They would not have booked him that way. I mean, look at the way they booked Cody after he lost at 39.
Mm-hmm.
He was unstoppable.
Yeah.
Overcame all the odds. And I think had the regime now been intact then, they would have booked him accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
And if he lost, it would have been via interference or something, like DQ, something along those lines. They would have made him look like the way he should have been presented all along.
Yeah.
With that said, now that the challenges have been laid out, I think, and I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this because of how it happened, Cody had his moment. There's other big matches he can have that don't require the belt. I personally think it's going to be Solo takes the title at SummerSlam. Roman returns. And then that is going to end up having Bloodline versus Bloodline War Games. And then Roman gets the title from Solo at the Rumble. And then it's Rock Roman at 41. And somewhere in between there, either more likely than not, it's going to be Randy turns on Cody. And then that'll be Cody's marquee matchup at Mania. And that story tells itself. I mean, they could have a fantastic build for that match. That match does not need a title.
Yeah.
And so, and also too, I think, I truly believe that, it's going to be Rock Roman and the other, and CM Punk is going to be the main event of night one. They're going to try to get him that main event. match.
CM Punk didn't come back to WWE to not
Correct.
main event WrestleMania.
And I think the company is going to honor that.
Yeah.
I truly believe they're going to do right by him, or hold up to what they said.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that even more so would make it more reasonable to believe that Cody loses the belt.
Only thing I'll say about him main eventing one of the nights of WrestleMania is I just wonder, they didn't have a woman in the main event this year. They didn't, and that would be 2 years without having a woman main eventing one of the nights. And I know they had been big on trying to give them one of the nights. And I do think it'll happen. I just wonder how the women's side of things is going to be receptive to being.
But man, at the end of the day, though, we all know it's going to be Rock Roman night 2.
Well, yeah, we know that. So
yeah,
we know that a man is locked in as night as.
But I think overwhelmingly the response to CM Punk coming back has been very positive. It is now confirmed. I don't know if you saw the behind the curtain. I just finished it yesterday.
No.
It was 100% confirmed. The original.
I did see that the original plan was Rock Roman and Punk and then Rollins.
Yes. Yeah, Punk Rollins. So it was confirmed he was going to have that spot until he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
With the way he's been well received in the locker room, on top of the fact he missed out on that opportunity due to injury, as much as I know they probably want to do that and continue like the women main event one night and the other, I think especially this year, assuming Punk is healthy, I think a majority would be understanding of it being men's matches both nights.
Sure. I mean, I don't care. I don't care who main events.
Well, trust me, there's plenty of potential matches that would be worthy of main eventing for the women. I can think of a few offhand, like Tiffy and Charlotte should be night 1 if Punk's not getting that match.
Let him lead off the show. I think leading off the show is not just as good, but it's a nice second.
Yeah.
Just don't put him in the middle.
I agree.
Yeah. But a lot of options now. I think it's going to be a good pay-per-view.
No options. What I said is going to happen.
I think it's going to be a good Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Money in the Bank is quickly becoming my second favorite gimmick. So we will see what happens.
A few hours away from Tiffy time.
I've been saying it's been Tiffy time for a month. Let's see.
Oh, I've been saying it's Tiffy time for more of that.
Since you laid eyes on Tiffy, we will see if you are
preposterous.
We will see if that is correct. But that is going to wrap up episode 31 of the Golden Squeeze podcast. If you or episode number 32 of the Golden Squeeze podcast.
Yes, 32. Don't you upset the viewers again.
Don't want to confuse you for the people who made it to the end and were thinking you just heard episode 32. You did, not 31. If you like what you heard, go ahead and hit that bell icon, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Golden Squeeze podcast. Oh. Squeeze.
That was intense.